I got two things again.
Oh. Alright. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got? Dead.
Keep going, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that,
dude.
man.
Holy fucking shit.
So good. Yo, Captain Pear.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude.
Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game.
Are you ready?
I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
My little bite. Ready? Bitch.
Always steal those kisses from you.
Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Always have to steal my kisses
From you. Always have to steal my kisses from you.
I got two things again.
Oh. Alright. Let's
Okay.
show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got? Dead.
Keep going, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that,
dude.
man.
Holy fucking shit.
So good. Yo, Captain Pear.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude.
Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game.
Are you ready?
I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
My little bite. Ready? Bitch.
Always have to steal those kisses from you.
Always have to steal those kisses from you. Always have to steal those kisses from you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Always have to steal my
Kisses from you. Always have to steal my kisses from you.
I got two things again.
Oh. Alright. Let's
Okay.
show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got? Dead.
Keep going, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that,
dude.
man.
Holy fucking shit.
So good. Yo, Captain Pear.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude.
Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game.
Are you ready?
I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
My little bite. Ready? Bitch.
Always have to steal those kisses from you.
Always have to steal those
Always have to steal nothing from you.
I got two things again.
Oh. All right. Let's
Okay.
show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got? Ah!
Keep going, though, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of me, man. Holy fucking shit! So good. Yo, Captain Turn.
I didn't know what was going on there.
Man. Fucking got him.
Fucking got him, dude.
Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game. Are you ready?
Hey.
Kick it in the teeth. Kick it in the teeth.
Oh, I haven't
Like
fucking I haven't
caging-
posted anything. Hang on.
Caging
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
runt.
Uno momento, per favor.
When you caging runt was going to be here, I would have stayed offshore another couple of weeks, I reckon.
This is the first time I've seen caging this early.
Caging has
in
been here
the
for
episode.
fucking ages, dude.
I think he popped in the other day. Well, in one of the last episodes. But this is the first time I've seen him in ages. At the beginning.
Yeah.
Before we go live, even. It's keen.
He's keen. He's keen on a little bit of OGR action.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, the fucking what do you call it?
Jose?
Formatting. Fuck.
Howdy, mate.
Hey, Jose.
G'day, mate.
How's it going?
What the fuck am I doing? 2 6.
Always remember it's OGR/bin. What's bin night? As in put your bins out at 9 or 10 p.m. once you're done. Yeah, right.
Smart.
Yeah, right, mate. All right, boys.
You
get a
want-
little snip.
Get
Hang
stuck
on.
into it.
2 6. I'm just posting this shit. 1 second. All right, I've done fucking nothing because I'm an idiot. Where are we? Oceanic Gaming Radio, and then some Montes. Everyone, bang, send that, publish that. See you later. All right, I'm good to go.
All right.
See you later.
You got your timer up?
I got my timer up.
Legend. All right.
Hammer up. Sounds like Cap is dying. Yep. It's back. He's
In
fucking dead.
3, 2, 1.
Freaking g'day, and welcome to Oceanic Gaming Bloody Radio. This is the podcast where we talk about video games, and you sit there and listen. It's it's excellent. Anyways, welcome on in. It is the 2nd of the 10th, 2023, and it is at 7 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time, Monday night. Here we're coming to you live from twitch.tv/Oceanic Gaming Radio. My name's Captain Perth, and alongside me, as always, Pav Leatherface and Grizzly Gaming. How we going, fellas?
Oh, how we doing?
Ahoy,
fellas?
hoy. My good
Doing well?
friends.
Doing
Very
excellent?
well, mate. You know, it's
Yeah.
been a month since I've been on this show. 4
Oh
weeks.
my god.
I know, dude. And then we had the little hiatus last week. So for those listening, do apologize. It was a bit last minute, but yeah, it just eventuated like that. You know,
Yeah,
these things
an
happen.
hour before the episode, we go live. Grizz pops up, says, "Hey boys, it's my birthday. You mind if I might be running late?" Snuck
Yeah.
that one
Oh,
under the
I was-
radar for us.
I was out
Cheeky,
drinking many
cheeky.
a beer on that day.
Cheeky,
Big day.
cheeky. Yeah,
Cheeky,
that's
cheeky.
all right. Yeah, you gotta look as a birthday present to you. We gave you a hiatus week.
It was much appreciated. I will say, boys, but Sukai and Adrian did an absolutely stellar job in the last couple of episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Just top quality stand-ins, like
Yeah,
next level. Yep.
huge episodes,
So,
really fun
Huge
as well.
episodes. Massive.
Nice to get some different spins on things as well, as always. So, yeah, but you're right. They knocked it out of the park. So it was fucking excellent. But now we got the big dog back. He's here.
Back,
He's ready
mate.
to freaking talk a bit of shit with me, and it's gonna be fucking
Yep.
great. So, Pav, how was your weekend? And tell us about what you got coming up, mate. It's pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
well, I had a pretty chill weekend. This one at least had I haven't seen you guys in a couple weeks. Weekend last that's just passed. We had PGF, which is Perth Games Fest.
Yeah, I wanted to go.
Lots of local devs. I had a wonderful time. Did a bunch of interviews with a friend of mine, Emmy Chan, who runs the Stream Perth community with me.
Yeah, I was watching some reels or whatever, and yeah, you guys look like you have a blast.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I can't wait to do it again. We got so it's kind of like a cheeky test run because we have PAX this weekend coming up. I'm flying out tomorrow night, and we're gonna be heading over there. Emmy and I once again we're gonna be strolling around the indie dev section. What do they call it? PAX Rising. We love
PAX
Rising,
PAX
sick.
Rising.
Very cool.
So yeah, we're gonna head on there and go chat to a bunch of indie devs on the Friday morning. Hopefully, we can smash that out throughout Friday and be able to chuck them up on the socials same day. I'm hoping.
Very radical, dude. That's gonna be wicked. Very excited to see you up on the on the big screen yet again, mate. You know, getting stuck in there.
Big screen.
Well, I got a big phone, so.
Ah, there you go.
How many PAX has you been to, Pav?
This will be my third PAX. So this is my third PAX. First time I've applied to the creator program. I got accepted to the creator program, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we'll be. I think that gives us like an extra hour at the beginning of the Friday to check out everything with a bit less of a crowd, which will be pretty sick.
That's cool, man. I like that.
Yeah, that is rad, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is it's a pretty surreal feeling.
Oh, dude, absolutely. But
Just
you've
compared
worked
to my
pretty hard
first
for it,
time.
mate. You know, you've been grinding freaking MC gigs, and you know it's well deserved. Mate.
It's been this year has been kind of nuts.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I know. We've listened to you tell us how big your weekend's been for the last
We've come a long
fucking
way.
fucking 40 weeks.
Had a big
Just
one,
about.
boys. Yep. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, mate. And I'm looking forward to see what you pump out. How can people watch the stuff you're producing, Pav?
Well, I'm a little lazy. Everything's been going up on Instagram, which is at Pavlova Face, which is PAVLA FACE. I can't remember if I spelled that right. I'm unpracticed. So everything been going up on there on my stories throughout the weekend, throughout the weeks, and I plan on chucking some stuff up on YouTube. But yeah, as I said, I'm a bit slow on the editing. we gotta get amongst it eventually.
Dude,
Yeah,
time is just non-existent as you become an adult, Pav.
yeah. Oh my god, I don't know how I managed to fit everything I have this year somehow. But yeah, one more thing. I don't know because I'm not going to be here next episode, guys. I can't remember if I told you that. Because I fly back to PAX on Tuesday. But
PAX, man.
the following week, I fly out to Sydney for IEM. I can't remember if I kind of gave you guys a sneak preview for that one. But I'll be heading over for the CSGO tourney in Sydney. And you might see me on stage somewhere in the week if anyone's around there. So don't be shy. Come say hi if any Sydney listeners are around.
Pav, are they running CSGO, mate, or is everyone switching over to CS2, mate? What's the go?
I really should know the answer to that question. Is my response to that. I have no idea. I assume it's going to be CSGO, like not
I would
to.
say so, most likely.
But yeah, this is going to be. I'll probably find out when I get there.
Well, yeah, let us know. I would have thought it would be CS2, surely.
You reckon? Yeah, I feel like CSGO's gone now, isn't it? Like,
has it already dropped?
CS2 has dropped, mate.
Oh, then yeah, that just CSGO 2 to CS2 just took over. CSGO is no more, isn't it? They've just dropped.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I think you're kind of right there. I think they've fully. Like, I don't even know if you can play CSGO anymore.
Yeah, what
Can you not?
folks in chat saying it just got renamed and they updated.
Which big brain shit.
Which is
You
going to
do
be
it.
interesting, right? For this, it's going to be interesting to see a pro tournament because the tick rate and stuff. So it's all different, right? Capo, you played it a bit. It feels a bit different to play.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like at my level of gameplay, I mean, it just feels like fucking CS. But I'm sure that any pro will be like, yeah, mate, I can feel this, feel that, and I'm sure they do. But I don't know. I
the
couldn't tell
smoke
the
doesn't
fucking
bounce
difference.
the same as
you
it
know?
did in D-Dust 2 on that corner of that.
Yeah.
that
Look,
kind of
these
shit.
guys, like the people that are playing this game, like over and over every day, competitively. Yeah, they're almost certainly going to feel it. Because I mean, it's like I can't remember exactly what the tick rate or whatever it was, but like it's like more than 2 times better in terms of like what you're getting, like data wise. It's
Oh,
fucking
really?
way
That's
better.
what you want, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always felt
So,
like,
pretty sexy.
we get quite disadvantaged here in WA because most of the servers are over east. So we'll be rocking like, 70, 80, sometimes up near
Yeah.
100 ping. And you got
Yeah.
those blokes that are like right next to the server that are on like 5 ping. And there'd be a big difference,
Well,
between,
even like people playing on the east coast of Australia versus us on the
Mhm.
west, like there would be like 30 to 40 ping difference, and it was significant. Like that was enough. Wow, maybe not so much for me. I think it was probably just an excuse, but still, I like to think that it was enough. But yeah, so anyways, Pav, that'll be fucking exciting, mate. So we won't see you for 2 weeks on the
I'm
show.
pumped up. Yes,
Oi!
2 or
Gonna have
3.
a party.
I don't know when I'm flying back yet.
Means
Yeah,
we can
easy.
do whatever the fuck we want on here, Pav. You better look
Yeah,
out,
talk
mate.
so much
Oh,
shit
no.
about Pav. It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna have to find someone to keep you guys in check.
Good luck.
Aging, I'm trusting you.
Well, mate, I think he's going to be making things worse. All right. Well, Grizz, what about you, mate? What's been happening? What's new?
A lot has been happening since speaking to you guys last, but I won't bore you with all the details, mate. But got a new job, Cap, which is pretty cool. Well, I got a promotion, so I'm still within the same company, but just slowly working my way up the corporate ladder, which is pretty
Oh, you did?
exciting, but also
Yeah, CEO next.
F my bloody free time even more now. But it is what it is.
Is what it is.
I have joined a new band, Cap, called the Renegades of Rock. It is one of Mikey's side projects that
Yeah, buddy.
the drummer had to pull out, but it's pretty exciting, mate, because it's playing all of the it's playing like System of the Down and Metallica and all those really great Foo Fighters, all those great rock metal songs from us growing up, which is great.
Hell
They
yeah.
also have a couple of tribute bands, mate. They've got an Offspring and an Audio Slave tribute band. So
Dude, rad.
got a couple of like festivals kind of booked up towards the end of next year and other bits and pieces, little shows. So I've been doing a
Audio
lot
Slave,
of prac.
Do you play with a guy called Cam? Is he in that band or no?
No. There is a Rage Against Machine tribute as well
Okay.
in Perth. Yeah. Why? Do you
Right.
know a guy that's in a Audio Slave tribute?
I
you?
do. Yeah, well, I think it was
Really?
Audio Slave. Yeah. So that's why I was like, wait a second, you might know my mate, but yeah, we're having a fucking DMM on a podcast about some bloke called Cam.
The tribute scene's pretty small, eh? They all fucking
Oh,
know each
that's
other.
what I mean, especially in Perth.
Yeah.
Like everyone just kind of seems to know everyone, and everyone knows your fucking brother as well. So,
Oh yeah, well he's quite well known in the Perth music scene now.
oh, big
It's
time,
just-
mate. He's the man. He's the man with the fucking bass.
poured
Very
himself
fucking
around many different bands.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I do.
apart
I
from
do
that,
like
mate.
how both you and Pav seem to have this problem where you go, man, I've got no fucking time in my life. Let's fucking add more fucking shit to it. Whereas I do the opposite.
I actually
Like,
pulled out of a band to join this one. Which
okay. So it's the
yeah.
old switcheroo, is it?
It is a bit of a switcheroo, yeah. And the shows aren't super regular on this, but I'm really looking forward to them. They're going to be a lot of fun. So
Hell yeah,
I believe
dude.
our first show is towards the end of this month, and it's in Bunbury, supporting a Red Hot Chili Peppers tribute band at one of the big pubs down there.
Dude,
So
sweet.
really looking forward to that. It's a ticketed event. So if anyone is in Bunbury that listens to the show, Renegades of Rock, towards the end of this month, you can find us on Facebook. But yeah, come see us. It'd be great. You're fucking great.
Hell yeah, man.
Good day.
Good, awesome. Love it.
What about you, Cap? Apart from that, mate, I have been gaming quite a lot, but I'll save that for how's your gaming going. I've picked up some new games and been giving them a red hot crack, as
Freaking
well
exciting.
as slowly playing some other ones that have been on the back burner for a while. But what about you, mate? How's life? You keep getting sick, Capo.
Dude, I literally keep getting sick and it's fucked. Like, I know I feel like I complain about this every single time we have a podcast episode, but like legitimately, it's just like I'm just being fucking like I'm battening down the hatches against the storm that is Ted bringing home fucking viruses every week. It's fucking insane, man. I'm so over it. Like, so I feel like I've not had a cold for ages, like months. Like I've always got some degree of just latent viral illness. And
dude,
then
I remember kids in daycare. I remember the same thing, dude.
Dude,
and then
it's fucking wild. I can't
Ted will
believe
grow
it.
up, mate, and you'll have the next baby. He'll be in daycare. And you'll go through it
Do it all
again.
over again. Dude, it's just crazy, hey? And so, like, on top of that, then, like, you know, in between the swaths of, you know, cold and flu, it's gastro. And so, like, more, I think it was not last weekend, but the weekend before, Ted had a spew in bed and he was pretty much fine after that.
Dude.
And we thought, oh, fuck, here we go. And then the next day, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was just like, ooh. And then 4 days later, pretty much bedridden for 4 days. It was absolutely fucked. By far the worst gastro I've ever had in my life. So glad that one's over. But yeah,
fun,
so
mate.
just kind of
lucky we did
repeating.
have a week off the podcast so you could rest up and relax. Capo,
Well,
you know?
it kind of paid off for me in all honesty because I was like a mess, to be honest. So it kind of worked out really well for me. But yeah, but other than that, like just been trying to squeeze in some gaming. I did manage to get a little bit of time on the weekend to catch up with some mates and just chill. Mia took Ted to her mum and dad's place, and I had the night to myself. So I slept
so good.
from the hours of 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., which I can't tell you the last time I did that. That was a very long time ago. So,
big sleep, mate.
Yeah, huge for me. That was fucking wonderful. So looking forward to the days that those become a bit more regular, but for now, not the case. That's okay. But yeah, so I got that, and we went and had a bunch of beers at a pub down the road from me, and I drank a heap of IPAs. And then came home and played a heap of CS2, which was pretty fun.
CS2. Yeah, let's save that for How's Your Game. I'm going to be interested to hear your take on CS2, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So, but yeah, other than that, mate, been pretty good. Ted turns 1 year old tomorrow.
1 year. Does he? Tomorrow? Oh, yeah, I'm coming to a party, mate, on the weekend. I'm looking forward to that. 1
freaking year, baby. So, you know, big celebration of myself and Mia, you know,
dude,
struggling.
It feels like just yesterday when you told me, Grizz, I think I'm going to have a baby and I think I'm going to stop streaming. That was at Adam's wedding many moons ago. It feels like just yesterday.
And here I am. I didn't stop streaming technically. So you know, I'm a man of my word. But yeah, so there you go. He'll be 1 on Tuesday, and bit of a freaking hullabaloo on the weekend for him. So it's gonna be good fun. We decided we're like, oh, what should we do? We're like, oh, do we do a picnic or something? And I was like, no, fuck that. Let's go to a pub. Like, let's celebrate you and me getting him through 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Mm-hmm. It's his birthday, but he's not going to remember it. So why don't we just do something we want to do?
They don't form memories that they remember till they're like 5 or 6, isn't it? Something like that. Like,
yeah. I mean, I still don't think I've built memory. So, you know, it could be as late as 32. So, yeah, but no. But yeah, so been pretty, you know, I've been busy, like, you know, doing dad shit and everything else. But it's been good fun. So, and happy days. But anyways, let's freaking jump into it, Grizzo. Well, you know, as always, let's have a bit of a chat about our usual house rules. Yeah, look, if you want to watch this show live, you can do so by going to twitch.tv/Oceanic Gaming Radio on Monday nights, 7 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time. You can join such legends such as Caging Runt, Dano299, Sick Jose, a bunch of freaking, you know, you can be one of these blokes. Jump in, say good day. Otherwise, we are available on every podcasting platform known to man. So, you know, you can get us anywhere, and have us you shall. So, yeah, very cool. Now, I just want to say a big thank you to all of our listeners. If you are listening to this or live or, you know, in the future, do us a big favor. Drop us a review or tell someone about us. We'd really appreciate it. And yeah, It'd be fucking great. Now, another big thank you to our wonderful Patreons. These are the legends that just keep freaking spending cash on us. It's wonderful. We're very humbled and we really appreciate it. And they are the following legends: Sukai, Moosey, Caging Runt, Sergeant Paul, Lee G, DJ Libs, Brendan, Dan, Fantastic, and Strops. On you guys, you bloody rippers. Pretty impressive.
Champions. Yep,
You know, sticking around for that long. Really appreciate it.
absolutely.
All right. There you go. Now, big old freaking quest log today, Grizzly. We got six quests on the log, so fair bit to get through. So we'll dive straight in. Now, for those who might have remembered from a couple of weeks ago, we had a bit of a chat about Unity and what Unity was doing, much to the dismay of devs pretty much globally. So they announced some pricing changes to their video game engine, of which many video game developers utilize to develop their video games, which caused quite a stir because the changes were interpreted as fairly greedy, and they introduced a very controversial runtime fee. We go pretty deep into it on a different episode, so just go back an episode and you'll be able to hear all about it. But they've recently turned the dial back a little bit, Grizz, on the changes. So just to kind of quickly touch on these, Unity announced that they were working on some changes based on the feedback that they had received, and they said that the outcry's been pretty poor. Understatement. But anyways, Mark Whitten, who is the leader of Unity Create, basically said, "I'm sorry," and wanted to apologize by announcing some changes to the pricing structure, which they had announced, of which were the following. So their Unity Personal plan, they've got 3 tiers: Personal, Pro, Enterprise, with various price points. Unity Personal will remain free and will not incur a runtime fee ever for any games built on this, which is, that's the base level Unity. They will be increasing the cap for revenue share from $100,000 to $200,000, and they'll also remove the requirement to use a made with Unity splash screen, which is good. And then they've also mentioned that no game with less than 1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the runtime fee. And then they also went on to say that creators on Pro and Enterprise versions of Unity, they're also making some changes on those fronts as well. They don't go too deep on this particular post, but they do also sort of mention that these runtime fee policies will apply to the next version of Unity, not old versions, which it would have before.
So I think that is the big one, right, Kat? So does that now mean that those games that have already developed on Unity that are released that are making dollars then don't owe them a heap of money due to copying fees, right?
Yeah. So it also means that any projects in development right now that would be releasing in the next, say, 6 months or so that thought, fuck, here we go, now I'm going to fucking deal with this shit, they won't be having to deal with that because presumably they'll be on an older version of Unity, which won't be subject to the runtime fee, which is great. So, look, it's still an increase in money required, I guess, and revenue.
It's interesting, Cap. Like, I loved hearing you and Adrian break this down and speak about this in that previous episode, and wanting to chime in my little 2 cents on those previous discussions. But in 2019, Cap, Unity came out and said they promised that it would charge developers a flat fee per seat, no royalty, on all of your revenue using Unity software. So to then come and change the goalposts and apply these fees is going completely against what was promised back then. So
which I think that's where a lot of developers are finding this particularly tough to swallow is A, that, and B, clearly they have not really thought too hard about this, and they don't have their community's interest at heart, which is kind of problematic when your community are the people footing your bill a lot of the time. Like, I mean, some people aren't going to be able to move away from the Unity anytime soon, but as we've seen recently, there's been a lot of people that are moving away, or have been protesting against these changes.
Well,
like, I think,
it
500
would be really
developers.
It would be
or
hard,
something.
Cap, to want to develop your game on this now. If you're using Unity 2024, why would you when there's other things on the market that you're not copying this price to use their software?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, okay, they've wound some of it back. I mean, not all the way. I mean, they still seem to want to preserve this runtime fee, which is still pretty controversial, mind you. But, ultimately, can you trust this company? That's the question you got to be asking yourself. And I think a lot of developers are starting to think, no, we cannot. And so why would we continue to build on Unity? And I think the answer for a lot of them are we should be going open source, go and check out a game engine such as Godot, or I think there's one called FNA or something like that. Or we do Unreal, which seems to be, I mean, Unreal have been fairly transparent with their pricing increases and stuff, and they've kind of been fairly good at advertising those. They haven't, they've just been flat increases to pricing rather than adding new hidden fees through fucking runtime fees and stuff like that. So, it's kind of the lesser of two evils. I mean, you're still having to pay an exorbitant amount in revenue share, but at least you know exactly what you're going to be paying for down the road, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty scary for a lot of those devs, Cap, when they thought they were going to be paying, after the fact, after they're using Unity. That would have really sucked. And the thing is, though, that was their intention, though. That's the thing, too, Cap. Why would you, like you say, it comes down to a trust thing. Why would you use Unity when you've got a fear that maybe down the track, should your game be really successful, that you're not going to be out of pocket by using something they might, it's it's not great. Now, sorry, I interrupted you there, right? Cap. You were talking about some Reddit post.
Yeah, so there was a post just, I think there was 500 developers that signed a protest against these runtime fees, which doesn't seem like a huge amount, but 500 different developers of, reasonable size all protesting against your shitty fees. It's a significant amount. But you're right, Grizz. Like, I mean, for me, like I've been learning Unity kind of casually over the last, say, year, and I deleted it because I was like, well, I'm not going to use this. Like, I mean, I don't have plans to develop a game and release it anytime soon. But if I decided I had an idea that I wanted to develop something, why would I use this engine? It just doesn't, like, for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm in a position where I can make a change like that and learn something new because I'm still kind of learning anyway. But ultimately, that's the kind of decisions I think a lot of people are making.
What's interesting about the 500 there, Cap, is they've turned off the ads, the monetization ads that Unity were making money on. But what I found even more interesting is if you look at most of the studios on that list, most of them are mobile game studios. So the top ones that they've listed there include Tap Nation, Magic Tavern, Lion Studios, and a couple of others, but they're all huge studios for mobile games that are making bulk money. And I guess you and Adrian were touching on it in the last episode, but that's who is really impacted by these changes,
was
right?
Their target market. It was just unfortunate, I suppose, that in the same swath of changes that a lot of indie studios were kind of being swept up in these same changes, which it clearly was evident, based on who was protesting. But and I mean, obviously, it's these mobile games that are utilizing those advertising plugins through Unity, so they're the ones that were able to apply that pressure. Whereas a lot of indie games don't use those; like they're just a fucking video game, like a good old fashioned buy the game, play it video game. My favorite. That's what I'm after. So yeah, but I mean, outside of that, Grizz, we did see, for example, stuff like the Terraria Logic, the creators of Terraria, they announced that they were, particularly displeased with what Unity was doing. They did mention that they don't utilize Unity, but they just thought that the fact that this was possible just fucking sucked. And so they donated $100,000 to the Godot game engine and FNA game engine, and then also announced that they were going to be paying $1,000 towards each project per month to keep the lights on, to try and push, which is just amazing.
Wrote a very scathing little announcement on their Twitter, basically, pointing the finger at Unity and giving them a hard time, which, even that has a lot of impact. You have a look at that tweet, Cap, and it has the impressions on it are absolutely massive. And just talking about that as a whole, if you have a look at the Unity share price, it's dropped by 20% in the last 2 weeks. So,
and all your legends, all your board members in Unity, just before the announcement of these price changes, sold a shitload of shares. How is that? That should be illegal. Yeah. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's fucking bullshit.
They're probably a bit worried, mate. I don't know. I would be worried
is that not the definition of insider trading? Like, I just feel like how's that possible? Classic. Anyways, so there you go. A lot of big things coming out of Unity. You got any kind of final things you want to say about it, Grizz?
Look, I wanted to comment on, there was one particular Reddit post that you put in the run sheet, but there was a comment in there that I thought was pretty funny, because essentially this is how the second announcement came out. It's kind of like, we are sorry for your level of confusion. Clearly, you weren't confused enough because you've noticed what we are doing. We'll try to be more cryptic with the next version. Hopefully by then you will have forgotten about it anyway. Which is like, the first announcement was very cryptic, and it's quite confusing to figure out exactly what they've done. But obviously, we've got pretty smart game devs are pretty clever, Cap, and called them out on the bullshit. But yeah, this is just crazy, man. And it comes down to corporate greed, is what I see here, Cap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not the first time we've seen it in gaming industry. We see it quite a lot now, Blizzard, everything else. So it's very disappointing, but it is also really important that people call it as it is, and we talk about it in forums like this, and we say how terrible it is and everything else. And there are other avenues to go develop your games in. I think that, imagine if we just let this go through, mate, and we're seeing our favorite studios paying many dollars to use this. I don't know.
Well, I mean, honestly, you think about, like, if people did just kind of like bend over for this one and cop it on the chin, ultimately what's stopping Unreal from going, okay, well, they seem to be pretty okay with it, so maybe we'll do the exact same fucking thing. Like, it's important to protest changes like this so further bullshit does not occur.
It almost feels like microtransactions creeping into PC gaming from the mobile thing. It almost feels like, and that scares me as it is. So
yeah, and that's the thing, is like, the reason we are seeing microtransactions coming to games like Diablo 4 and everything else is not just because they're being used on mobile game experiences, but because people are purchasing them. Yeah. So why wouldn't they put them there?
On doulas, mate.
Yeah. And ultimately, like, I don't blame them. If like, for me, like, if I'm going to make more money in my job doing something, I'm probably going to fucking make more money doing that thing. Ultimately, depending, there might be an ethical question there that I might go, okay, maybe I don't want to do this. But, a lot of the time, corporations don't seem to need to make that justification, because it's all about making the cash,
Yeah.
And that burden's spread across multiple people in different roles. So it doesn't fucking matter. Like, I don't know. I think, we are just going to slowly see these kinds of practices seep into our treasured PC game experiences. So what you need to do as a consumer is reward the developers that aren't doing this shit. Yeah. Go and buy indie games.
Go and seen a few of those happen this year, Cap, that have been great out of the box. And one we can talk about that has come out last week, Lies of P, but Elden Ring, other ones like that don't have that stuff in them that are being very well received. Baldur's Gate 3, fuck, heaps of them. In fact, probably the better games this year that have been announced have all been microtransaction free or
and not
shady.
AAA studios.
Yeah, not AAA studios as well. Yeah.
What a surprise. I think we're at this weird saturation point where AAA studios are beholden to their share holders and whatever else, and they're trying to maximize profits whilst reduce the amount of work required to create these games. And so we're at this weird point in time where we're having a quality issue paired with an output issue, because they have, I mean, video games industries, and we've talked about this before, you know, they don't start making money until they start selling the video game. So if it takes them 3 years to, you know, create the game, then, you know, that's how long it takes before they start making money, right? So, you know, these AAA titles that, you know, bite off a lot more than, you know, bite off a lot to chew, sometimes more than they can chew. And that, I feel that gap is becoming bigger and bigger between, you know, what they're able to adequately achieve and output like a reasonable product. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Absolutely.
I'm finding that just from what I experience is I'm gravitating less and less towards AAA games and AAA studios, because
I'd say so.
There's just no heart in some of the products that they're creating.
What was the last AAA studio game that you actually? Oh, I would say, you know what, probably God of War for me. I'd say.
Yeah, God of War or Elden Ring for me.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah. So, but do you know what? I suppose when I think of AAAs, I'm thinking of your Ubisofts and your Blizzards and, you know, your EAs and your Activisions. Like I feel like these studios just, publishers and you know, umbrella devs beneath them just are not able to produce what what I'm seeking.
Someone was talking about Starfield the other day, Kat, saying, I can't remember, I might have even read it on Reddit somewhere, but how hollow that experience is. The game's just not fun. But it comes down to, imagine having that many different devs and trying to pull together that much of a large team to make something that is meaningful when you've got everyone's ideas and other bits and pieces, and they've got a cookie cutter mold from games in the past. Like, it's much easier just to get them all to apply that cookie cutter. And it just, like, it feels like that to me. And I reckon that would be challenging. I reckon if you've got a smaller dev team, it's easier to bleed that passion into your game that you're creating, surely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, also the projects are, you know, a better size and more manageable. You know, less feature rich generally as well. But I think ultimately what's been happening is we're just kind of seeing this shift in games development where I kind of feel like the approach to good narrative design and informed game design, and when I say informed game design, I mean designing your game around being fun, but also making very good use of your story and narrative elements and blending the two together. I feel like that's becoming harder and harder to find in AAA studios because they put so much emphasis into developing the system or the game, but they forget to make it fun. They forget to create a nice, fun, interesting experience. And I mean, Starfield's a fucking classic one for that. And I know a lot of people are having fun with that game, and congratulations. But that game is so fucking boring. It is like the actual story behind that game is so fucking sterile. It's horrific. I was not a huge fan of Fallout 4 because I thought it was pretty bland, but Fallout 4 story shits all over Starfields, and I've not found a single side quest or a single main quest where I've actually been interested in what the fuck is going on. I've not touched that game for a week and a half now because I just can't bring myself to go in there and play it.
Can't do it. But I've installed it and I loaded into it and I gave it a little bit, but just haven't given it any more. And I'll give it another tickle. Maybe.
I don't know. It's literally, this is the other thing is like, Bethesda keeps getting away with it over and over again with the way that they approach game design is just regurgitating the same old fucking shit. They're like a mother bird that's feeding its chicks, you know, that same old fucking regurgitated worm that it's been, you know, stewing in its gut for, you know, the last 50 years. It's just, you know, Starfield is Skyrim. You know, it's the same fucking storyline. You start off on like this kind of, you know, okay, you're not in prison, but you're a corporate prisoner, you know, and you kind of have this moment moment of where, I must be the chosen one because I've seen this fucking thing. Okay, cool. Now all of a sudden, we're being pulled into this secret order. Okay, cool, no worries. And now all of a sudden, I'm getting these special space powers, a la, the fucking Fuss radar powers in Skyrim. It's the same fucking game in space, and it's not even a good space game.
This is because of corporate pressure, mate. You've got a bunch
absolutely.
of shareholders. They probably sat around a table, said, fuck yeah, I've got these great Fallout games. We've got this cookie cutter mold for this one. Let's just use this in space. And bang, there we go. We've got this great game. Well, we'll update a bit of the engine and everything else, but we've got a basic idea for a game. Let's just use that. It's worked in the past, and there you go.
Yeah. Honestly,
I
could honestly just keep complaining about Starfield forever, so we better move on.
Okay, anyway, I want to ask you one thing, Cap. Unity, can they claw their way back to be a fantastic game dev platform for people, or do you think they've done the dash with this?
I think what they've done will be enough to maintain a reasonable market share. I think the engine itself is, I would have preferred to have used that engine over other engines because I like it, but I don't like what they've done, so I'm not going to reward them. But I do think people will continue to use Unity. You got to remember, it's the same as like what if tomorrow JavaScript started fucking charging 50 cents to run a fucking script, right? Like you'd have many devs who have spent tens of years plus writing code in this program, getting their chops up. So if they're going to be giving a little worm to get back in and just continue making within their environment of choice, they're probably going to take it. Not everyone's going to give in. I'm sure there's been a lot of trust lost, but I'm sure a lot of people will still continue to make with Unity because of that. The amount of time that goes in for you to learn these systems and learn how to use them well, it's a lot of time to invest, and to then all of a sudden have to learn something else makes it a difficult sell. So I think Unity's fucked it pretty bad. I think they will lose a reasonable number of people utilizing their environment, but they will still continue to be, the second or first biggest, in the world in terms of game engine usage. So, yeah,
cool.
So there you go. All right. Anyways,
there you go,
now, Grizz, we haven't really had a good chance to chat about Mario Wonder. And I kind of wanted to chuck it on this one because I wanted to see your thoughts on, I guess, just what they're producing. But it looks like a lot of fucking fun, Grizz. They did a direct recently, about 2 weeks ago, so we're a bit late on this one. But I did want to kind of like just go through it and just explore it because I think Super Mario Wonder is going to be fucking excellent.
Dude, it looks freaking awesome. I actually really enjoyed the last 2D Mario side scroll. I actually had Moosey and Magsy come over and we played through it, same screen, couch co-op, and it was one of the most enjoyable co-op experiences that I've had as a couch co-op game. So we'll get there. But yeah, so this is coming out October 20. So what? We're nearly there, mate. A couple of weeks and we'll have this game to play. But yeah, look, part of the Nintendo Direct, they did go through, and there's quite a lot of details in the Direct that they have given us about Mario Wonder. So maybe we just work through each little subsection under there and have a chat about it. But
yeah, absolutely.
First they gave us a little story teaser here, Cap. So basically the story goes that Bowser comes along and touches the Wonder Flower, this blue little flower, and transforms himself and a castle into this big corrupted castle that then flies across the land and creates absolute chaos in the, I think it's called the Flower Kingdom, I believe.
Yep,
and,
Flower Kingdom.
Flower Kingdom. And that gives us our world. So there is 7 total areas that you see. There's 7 worlds, apparently, Cap, that you can explore. I believe each of those has little subsections, but we see the classic tropes, Cap, which are like, there's an ice level, there's desert, there's underwater levels, there's caves, you see sky areas, swamps, forests, lava, all that kind of stuff.
They've got a couple of interesting ones though, like what looks like might be like a poison mushroom forest, which I kind of liked that take on the whole forest biome.
they had that in Mario Maker 2. You could create a level in that little like poisonous forest thing, but
Yeah,
looks cool. Is it purple, Cap? The
it's
aesthetic?
purple. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
love that.
aesthetic. Yeah,
Love that. But I found something really interesting, Cap, because the way they've done it, they've got certain areas that are actual open world spaces in terms of the map itself. So what that means is you're not pigeonholed into having to beat a level to progress. You can kind of play the levels in any order that you wish. So if there's one particularly hard level, you could go and play something else before you take that on. So it kind of allows for a bit more open progression paths in some of these worlds. I think that's the first time I've
yeah.
seen that happen in a Mario game, which
And it
is
looks pretty rad. I do like the way that I mean, you do have sections where you do need to kind of linearly go through level by level, but then you have these little swaths of area that you can go and just go, oh, that one looks cool. I'll do that one first, and I'll do this one second, kind of thing.
check that out. Yeah. And then characters, Cap. So we see Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad, and Toadette. But what's interesting, Cap, is they all play the same. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that actually.
you reckon that's good? I reckon that's pretty good because in the past we've seen where you would have like a flutter on Peach, or Luigi can jump higher, but it doesn't control as well on platforms, and Mario's just Mario. But I think that's kind of cool because it made co-op a little bit weird when you would have the characters having different skill sets and stuff. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But also, Cap, you can play as Yoshi and what's this other dude's name? Yoshi and David. Is that his name?
Yeah, Nabbit. I think his name is.
Nabbit.
Yeah.
Yoshi and Nabbit. And it's kind of like it's easy mode. So that's what you would get your kids to play. So
Yeah. You can still die if you fall in a hole.
you can die if you fall in a hole, but you cannot die to enemy mobs or from taking damage in lava and stuff. Essentially, you're invincible. Now, what I found is really cool, Cap, is you can play co-op with someone playing a Yoshi and you playing a standard character, which means I could technically play through this with my two young girls and have a great time. And I don't have to worry about them. I mean, they can fall in the holes, but dying to the mobs and monsters and stuff. So I think that as an accessibility feature is pretty cool. I like
It's
that.
definitely one thing that got me excited because, like, me and Mia are trying to find more and more things that we can kind of do in our downtime that isn't just watching Netflix and just like lying there comatose. And there's stuff like this. I'm like, this is kind of perfect because, you know, like Mia doesn't do an awful lot of gaming at all. So, but I think a game like this is really fun and visually, like, I mean, Mario Wonder looks great. So being able to share that with Mia in a way where she doesn't feel left behind is going to be really fun, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. Absolutely, mate. When Ted gets old enough, well, actually, this game will probably be long gone by then, mate, and there'll be another 2 Marios out by then.
Yeah, Mario 1 to 2, 3, who knows?
That's it. Yep, who knows, mate. But in terms of enemies, Cap, so we see some of the absolute classics returning enemies like the Goombas, Koopas, and Boos and other things, but we do see quite a lot of new enemies that we haven't seen before in the Mario franchise. So there's like some mummies and stuff that you can like unwind, and there's a lot of
weird looking birds,
a lot of enemy variations. So I think that's that should be pretty cool. Now power ups, Cap. So we see a few different power ups here. We have like an elephant power up where you gain a trunk. You can suck in water and store water, quite large. You can run across 2 tile gaps rather than 1 tile gaps, which is pretty cool. I thought
that's wild.
It's wild, absolutely. And then you can get this one that's a bubble form. Did you ever play Bubble Bobble, Cap, back in the day on Sega?
No, I don't think I did.
Well, essentially, you like blow bubbles at people and you trap the monsters in the bubble, and then when you pop the bubble, they die. It's essentially Bubble Bobble, but in Mario. So what is also cool is the bubbles, you can use them to traverse. So if you blow a bubble and you capture an enemy in a bubble, you can jump off the bubble to kind of traverse yourself higher in the environment, which is pretty cool. I like that.
The
also got
power-ups
another one.
look pretty cool.
They do. They look very unique. I like that they've changed it up. They continue to change them up through the Mario generations, which is pretty cool. But you can get a drill form as well, Cap, where you get a little drill on your head. You can bury underground and do other little bits and pieces. And apparently there's like secrets you can find using those. And then the classic firepower, which is just the old shoot the bullets. But Cap, you can pick up this thing called a Wonder Seed, right? Which is the seed that Bowser took at the start of the game. And crazy shit happens, man. Like, depending on the level, it'll basically put you into what I think is like a bonus level. So it can do things like change the perspective to a top down. You might be floating through the air. It might completely teleport you to a whole new level. And you've basically got to kind of explore this area or do whatever it is you're doing to get hold of a Wonder Seed, which is a currency in the game that you can use to buy stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's pretty cool, man. And looks like there's quite a lot of depth in this game, Cap.
Absolutely. I mean, just that Wonder Seed stuff, dude. I think that's obviously the big sort of draw card and massive feature of this game is giving you each level basically has an alternate path that is like all this weird acid trip version of the level, which kind of throws some weird, wonderful way for you to experience a level, which is fucking rad. Is it the Wonder Seeds you use to buy the badges, Grizz?
Yeah, it is. So you can buy badges, or you can either acquire them from difficult levels in the game. But the badges I've never seen this before in a Mario game, and I think this is actually what gets me a little bit excited about this, because the badges will change the way that you can play the level. So an example is that you can get a parachute badge, which makes you slow fall. You can get a wall climb badge that lets you climb walls, dolphin kick badge that lets you swim faster, and there's a plethora of these different badges. But there is a jet run badge, Cap, that basically increases your P speed run, which I know right now that's going to be the speed run.
Speed run, fucking.
That's going to be the speed run. Can you imagine people just like jetting through the level?
Oh,
but yeah, like you say, so you need Wonder Seeds to buy these, I believe, from the vendor, or there's these challenge levels that you need to complete to unlock them. So I think this is going to be pretty cool. It's going to change the way that you might want to play the game a little bit. You know, if you've got a level that the platforming is pretty difficult, then maybe you would use the double jump one, or there's a jumping one, the wall climb badge or something that might help you out. So yeah, interesting. Pretty cool.
I think overall, like I'm quite excited for this, probably more so than I've been excited for a Mario game in a while. Like the Super Mario Brothers games that have come out in the 2D versions more recently, I guess they've been much more. Well, I mean, they're just classic Mario games, right? Whereas I feel like it's still got the classic Mario kind of vibe and I guess underlying template, but it's just sort of taking it in an interesting direction that feels kind of like wondrous, you know, like just this weird, wonderful way to interpret levels and change them up. And I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good, Cap. I think it's been really good. And, you know, I think that Nintendo, in my opinion, has always done a pretty poor effort in incorporating online, any form of online play.
Yeah.
You know, even down to not just the design, but the way the servers work. You know, like just look back at Mario Maker 2 with their online PvP thing was pretty hard to play in terms of like connection stability, etc.
Yeah.
What they've done here is they've implemented this few pretty interesting little online mechanics here. So they've got these things called shadows that you can choose to have in your game if you're playing online. It allows you to share items. So you'll be playing through a level and you'll see shadows that are kind of working the way through the level as you are. And those are supposed to be live players playing through that level somewhere. You can kind of interact with them. You can share items with those. You can plant down these little kind of like checkpoints that can save them from damage and act as checkpoints as well. And the more players that you help through doing this, you'll actually get like a heart score above your head and be displayed on your character as you kind of do these different things through doing that. They also allow you to have like chats with your friends in these kind of hangout areas and other bits and pieces. So I really think they have had a bit of a think about how they can make the game a little bit more interesting through online, which is cool. So
Yeah, I definitely like their approach. Like it's, having an effect on other people's game without you directly affecting it. Really, like you just,
yeah,
it's only in a
totally.
really a positive way, right? Which is great because I mean, there's certainly griefing ways that they could have gone with it.
Yeah.
So I think it makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense to go down this route. But yeah, I think you're right, Grizz. It definitely seems like they're paying a bit more attention just to the multiplayer aspect of this, and yeah, dude, honestly, I'm ready for this. I reckon it's gonna be
Yeah,
great.
I'm ready for this too. I reckon I'm going to give this a go. And mainly, I think it's going to be a great excuse for me to sit down with my 3 girls. And I think the accessibility options is going to allow us to play at a level that's suitable for all ages of my kids. And I think I think that aspect alone is worth me picking it up to do that, because there's not really many games that you can actually do that. I mean, one comes to mind, probably Stardew Valley is pretty good, but there's no real gameplay in that. Whereas this is a platformer, so being able to be
Yeah.
on the same level is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, keen as, mate, keen as. So I think it comes out the 20th or something, Grizz. So not too far.
Weeks.
Yeah, we're pretty much there. So yeah, get your freaking Switch charged up. All right, Grizz. Now, just a couple of quick ones that we can touch on before we jump into some Cyberpunk. How's your gaming going? Shit. Just wanted to kind of talk about this one because I think it's pretty important. So SAG-AFTRA is a sort of actors guild union kind of thing. They recently voted to approve a strike for voice actors against video game companies, which is quite large. And so we'll probably see the effect of that, I don't know, soonish, I guess. And well, we probably won't feel it immediately, but we might find, for example, some projects might be slightly delayed and whatever else. But basically, we're kind of seeing this, I guess, I don't know. The SAG-AFTRA, they work towards, I guess, ensuring that their members get paid properly and all that kind of shit. Basically, the big one for this was they wanted to seek wages that matched inflation over time. Which, absolutely, totally understand that. I want the same thing for me. And then on top of that, they also wanted to find ways to embed protection against the exploitative usage of AI voice acting, because we've seen and heard of, people utilizing AI to recreate voices of well-known game characters and stuff. Whether it be nefariously or not. Regardless, they want to sort of bargain for ways to get better wages and protection against that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I kind of feel like the unfortunate thing for voice actors is like a lot of the time we have a few major, very well-known voice actors, and the rest of them unfortunately don't have the identity to really follow it up, kind of like we do with visual movie actors, because it's visual, you see them, you know who they are, they get a reputation. I think they're going to find it really difficult to bargain with these companies, in my opinion, because there's probably just someone else who will do it instead. So,
absolutely. And we've talked about this before, Cap, but clearly it was something they were very passionate about, because if you look at the results of the vote, it was a 98.3% yes vote around around this video game strike. So they must be feeling the pinch here big time, Capo. So we're interesting to see how we are impacted by it. But absolutely,
I do hope it goes well for them, because I think they deserve it. Like, I think about some of my favorite video game experiences in the last couple of years, and a lot of that has been because of incredible voice acting work.
Man, I keep commenting about it as I'm playing through this, Cap, but Baldur's Gate 3, the voice acting is
I know,
just like, it is so freaking good, man.
Voice acting so important.
Oh, it is incredibly important. Yeah, unless you're Mario, which, or you know what, that's probably still important. But
well, I mean, it might be now. I mean, those flowers literally talk human language.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, I guess we're a bit more, current gen with our Nintendo consoles, mate.
Yep,
out of the dark ages.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so there you go. That's SAG after working towards some better working conditions. Now, the other thing that's quite interesting, Grizz, is Jim Ryan, the head of PlayStation, is stepping down. I think he's just ready to throw in the towel. I don't think there's any real big reason. I mean, he's been in that role for about 30 years now. So I think just kind of went, I'm ready for retirement. And
he said he was struggling to strike the right balance between his home in the UK and his job in the US. And wanted a bit more time closer to home, which is fair enough. You've been in the company for 30 years, Cap. He's been CEO of the company since 2019. A good chunk of time. I'd imagine that'd be a
bucket load of money by now, mate. I'm sure he's fine.
Couple of bucks. But I was interested to ask you, Capo, will us as gamers see any impact of Ryan's departure, or do you think it'll just be a corporate run, just kind of runs on wheels already?
Well, it might be interesting to see who they hire. They've basically got some Japanese bloke who's jumping in as interim CEO. But I'm interested to see who they put in that role next, because you can compare to, I guess, against Microsoft and who they've had recently in those roles. I mean, more recently we've had Phil Spencer, who, I mean, let's be honest, he's kind of like a bit of a rock star CEO, fairly casual kind of guy, and I think that pays off really well for Microsoft. It's going to be interesting to see if they go for a similar kind of approach. They want like more of a PR marketing kind of, like poster boy person, or do they go for someone who is literally just fucking classic, CEO business person, fucking, like Jim Ryan was. Jim Ryan had a reasonable presence in E3 and like in different videos and stuff to show off sort of products and stuff, but I would say almost nowhere near has nowhere near the presence that Phil Spencer's had. So yeah, going to be interesting to see what happens. Very interesting. But yeah, so there you go. Hats off to Jim Ryan. I think PlayStation's done some good things and it's done some fucking bad things, but there you go. He's out. So yeah. Now
done.
Grizz,
kick him out. Yes,
that's the freaking quest log. There is one more story, but I figure we may as well talk about it. How's the gaming go?
Have a yarn about it. Let's do it.
Have
you been playing it?
I fucking downloaded Cyberpunk and the new patch, and I bought the fucking DLC because I thought it looked fucking rad. And
did you vote on the poll, Cap? Did you vote on the poll?
I did indeed.
So
let's open up with the poll. We got the poll floating around somewhere here. I forgot to fucking.
Yep. Let's get
that. We actually did a poll this week, guys. So pat on my back and Grizz is back. Grizz posted it, but good job, everyone. We fucking got there.
Good job, team. Yeah.
So Grizz asked, with Cyberpunk releasing a huge patch alongside a brand new DLC, Phantom Liberty, how will you interact with this video Jamale? Grizz, would you like to go through the options?
Yeah. So the options were returning to the game, or just bought the game, or Cyberpunk is dead to me. Now, I did add an extra fourth one saying results, please, because I reckon some of our polls have potentially be getting skewed by people wanting to see the results. But in terms of results, Cap, look, we had 10% of the people have just bought the game because they wanted to jump back into Phantom Liberty. Sounded like you were one of those people, Capo.
Yep, definitely. I voted for that.
We had 27.3% of the people saying Cyberpunk is dead to me. So obviously, damage is done. Not going to go back to Cyberpunk. But 31.8% of people saying that they were going to return to the game for the DLC. So
yeah, I've definitely seen all of those opinions voiced from friends that I know. Anywhere from similar to me. I think personally, I think Cyberpunk's had a bit of a No Man's Sky-esque rise back into fame, and I think it's fairly well deserved. Better late than never, I guess. It still kind of sucks that they did what they did and released it in the state it was, but I mean, at least they got there in the end. There's plenty of other video games that just don't go and clean up the mess that they've made. So,
hopefully a bit of
got to give them props when it's deserved.
Yeah, hopefully a bit of a learning for the studio to fucking polish your games. I just wanted to quickly read out Moosey's comment there. He said, Blindsided Moose has said, I've basically 100%ed Cyberpunk, installed a few mods for general quality of life improvements, most of which have been implemented with the latest patch. Very keen to crack into the story expansion with the skill system overhaul. I'll probably have fun with the new build. So there you go. One of those
Yep.
returning to the game or currently playing the game, sounds like even.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've probably put about maybe 15, 20 hours in since I downloaded it a bit over a week ago, and I'm really enjoying the changes. Probably the best part about it is purely just the fact that they've introduced a much more thoughtful like skill tree and perk system. The old sort of skill tree perk system would basically mostly just flat stat increases. Now we have kind of like a more RPG like skill tree system where you do get some stats out of your options of where you're placing your skill points, but you're also getting, okay, now I can do an air dash with this skill, and now I can do a special fucking I don't know, slide or whatever. It depends on what tree you're working through. So yeah, I've been really enjoying that. I really like their new approach to the inventory, I guess. One thing that kind of put me off the game last time was the whole cyberware stuff. So the cyberware thing it's basically your armor, but not really.
Okay.
But you basically find these cyberware things that, they'll give you armor and health and stuff, but they also give you special abilities like, okay, now I can zoom in ×6, or now I can have access to these extra hacking functions or whatever else. So they kind of work as your armor, but kind of not. But anyways, the way that they've approached it this time around is they've redesigned the UI, and it just feels a lot nicer. And yeah, I am just purely just enjoying it a lot more. I think the loot system feels a lot better, which they kind of made a few changes to. They also made some crafting changes that feel a lot nicer, just the way the components work and how you use them to create things. I haven't had an awful lot to do with the vehicle combat and police system, but apparently those are much better now. I've been playing kind of a fairly reasonably good boy, so
So these are all the patch 2.0 changes, aren't they, Cap? These are all
correct.
the yeah, cool.
Yeah, so these are all the
apparently the
2.0
police.
changes.
Apparently the police system was something that people were going into Cyberpunk expecting something similar to GTA police system, where you do something wrong and you get a threat level and they come after you. But apparently the AI sitting behind the police system was lacking.
Yeah, it was full garbo. Like they wouldn't chase after you properly, or they get stuck, or it would just be really bad. But they've definitely seems like they've improved that. Not that I've been in a chase or anything yet, but Plus, I mean, it sounds like the paid expansion is really good, very very good quality, and it kind of puts another level of kind of stuff on top of another layer of stuff on top of what's already existing. So.
Yep. They give you there's a new district cap, storylines, characters, quests, 100 plus new items, and then the level cap up to 60. But the thing that I reckon is probably the most cool about this is the pricing of it, Cap, isn't extortionate. You're paying $30 for the Phantom Liberty DLC, right? Which to me is a reasonable price for a DLC.
Especially this size, I think. Like I'm not too sure exactly the length of time that's required to play the story content, but you've also got to remember that there's a bunch of extra kind of I guess experience widening features that have come with Phantom Liberty that's available in that paid DLC. And I think you're right. I think this is a pretty reasonable price. And also got to remember is CD Projekt Red put Cyberpunk on special before it dropped, just to kind of soften that blow even further. So yeah. I mean, look, I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm also playing it via my Steam Deck as well, via the remote play function, and it's fucking excellent. Really enjoying that.
Does it run well on the Steam Deck, Cap, like a remote play? Go all right?
Yeah, remote play is awesome. Runs really well natively. So certain games I just play remote play, and other games I play on the deck itself. But this was, I wanted to play it in high fidelity graphics, and it looks great via the remote play versus playing it natively on the deck, which it looks fine, but it's I think this is a much better way to play it, unless you wanted to play it remotely away from home. But for me, perfect. But look, ultimately, I think if you were waiting for Cyberpunk to be good, like I was for a while, I think now's the time. It's not getting any further major updates. They've said that, but
there's no other DLCs coming or anything else. This is pretty much it. This is the now.
They've come out and said that they're the next step is to work on Cyberpunk 2 now.
Okay, cool. Well,
so this is as good as the game will get.
The release of Cyberpunk 1. I mean, I think so much damage was done to this game. In the initial weeks, we had a PS4 release that was literally unplayable.
Oh yeah.
And then we look at something like Baldur's Gate 3, where they're going, "Oh, we're not going to release this to Xbox Series, whatever that series was, until it's ready to go."
You know what's a shame, Grizz, is like I look at I was when I started playing Cyberpunk again, and I started fresh from the beginning. And I was just thinking, like, the whole time, like, man, this is such a better experience than Starfield on a narrative level. Like, everything is so much fucking better. Even, like, okay, the game came out broken, but if you think about, like, I guess just ultimately, what kind of experience you're getting out of Cyberpunk, it's so much better than Starfield in so many fucking ways.
I've seen that written
crazy
a lot, Cap, isn't it? I mean, I wonder whether Starfield will grow legs as it do a No Man's Sky on us and become the game that people are loving it. So people are probably getting dirty at us talking like this, but I wonder whether we'll.
Hey, if you enjoy Starfield, that's fine. Look, but ultimately, you can't ignore the fact that it is just a fucking regurgitation of the same old stuff. Unfortunately.
Yeah. See, I wonder whether it will reach its peak, similar to Cyberpunk has in this respect, and be a decent game in time.
If Bethesda can pump it out, but I doubt it. I think they'll start working on something else. But it definitely, for me, it raises my eyebrow when it comes to me thinking whether Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a good experience. Because I mean, based on the quality of Starfield, I just don't know if Bethesda has it in them to make a reasonably good RPG. They can make an RPG, but can they make a fun RPG? Who fucking knows? They couldn't with Starfield. So, in my opinion, anyway, very biased, but anyways,
Cap,
there you go.
People seem to be enjoying the game right now too. So, nearly 250k concurrent players on Steam. Cyberpunk 2077, which was the highest player count has been since December 2020. The poll suggested that people were looking forward to either jumping back into the game or purchasing the game to play Phantom Liberty, but stats behind Steam seem to be supporting that as well, which is interesting.
Yeah. I just think the game's in a really good place right now. And again, it's a good time to buy and play. The game's been streamlined really well, and I think people are noticing that. And people probably tried to wet their whistle on Starfield, perhaps, and went, "Oh God, this isn't quite what I was after." And then I don't know, probably then went, "Okay, where else can I go? Oh, Cyberpunk's just released a new DLC. Cool, let's do that." And I think it's worked pretty bloody well in their favor. Old CD Projekt Red. So,
absolutely. Yep.
There you go. There you freaking go. Now,
there you freaking go.
Talk to me about your Liza P experience.
I will. Kat, we've forgotten to do any stingers tonight, mate.
Stingers, I did the stinger.
Did we do
stingers?
I didn't do
the whole stinger. Yeah, I did the stingers, mate.
Hey, you're fucking all over it, mate. I must be ignoring you. Dude, Liza P has been very surprising to me. I didn't expect it to be as polished as it was.
Neither did I.
No, I didn't. It is like, well, I haven't got to the end game. I'm probably at the very start. I've completed maybe like 4 or 5 bosses, maybe only one major boss. But look, it runs beautifully. I'm playing it on PlayStation 5. the combat feels extremely fluid and snappy. But I think the biggest credit to the game is I feel like they've taken all of the great things from the Souls games, from different Souls games, and they've mashed them into this video game to make a really enjoyable combat experience. So they've taken the parry mechanic from Sekiro, where you kind of have a meter, and you need to parry at the correct timing to get a good parry off. They've taken weapon arts, I kind of feel like, from Sekiro as well, where you use your hand to do different things. I don't want to spoil too much for people if you are looking to play this, so I'll just keep it at that. They've taken stuff from Bloodborne, not only the aesthetics of the town itself and the look of the game, but the combat speed is very Bloodborne-ish. You know, it encourages you to play an aggressive play style, and also the health recovery cap. So if you're blocking someone and you don't successfully get a timed block off, you'll take damage, but not all the damage. But the damage that you take when you're blocking, if you attack an enemy in a short window, you'll be able to gain that health back. So Bloodborne did something kind of similar, where if you take the damage, you could attack an enemy to regain that health in a short period of time. So it basically was promoting you to play quite aggressive in your style. So they've kind of taken that, but put their own spin on it. I think it's very creative. And then, of course, they've taken the iframes in the dodging. So how do you feel about the combat cap? Because I really like the combination of the Souls games to kind of put together this combat.
I honestly feel like it's like the perfect distillation for me, because I really like Bloodborne and the speed, and I feel like maybe it's slightly slower than Bloodborne. But then I really liked Sekiro and the kind of like dance you had with bosses and stuff. And I really like how they've married those two things. But then I also really like Dark Souls and the ability to block damage. But then they've kind of managed to make it feel a bit more Bloodborne-esque at the same time. So I just think the way that they've approached the combat design is just very, very well done. I think
pretty clever, eh?
Look, it is very clever. I think if I was to give it take some points away, there's a little bit of jank here and there. Nothing crazy. It's just, I just think like sometimes certain ways your character moves around, or the way that you interact with the world feels a little bit janky. But I mean, ultimately, that's fine.
That, in the very first room, Cap, the hitboxes of some of the items that are just like tables and things are not as accurate as what some of the recent Souls games are. And like you say, just some of the pathing, when you're trying to move around those, the hitbox might be bigger than the actual object. And you know, I'm trying to and a prime example is I'm trying to jump off the roof onto another roof, and if it was Dark Souls 3 or Elden Ring or something like that, you'd be able to do that, or Sekiro, you'd be able to jump onto that roof. But there's just hard walls there, and you just end up falling to your death and taking a bunch of damage or something, you know? So those things are frustrating. But I
think for me, some of the approach to level design, I would say, isn't as up to scratch as a From Software experience. But ultimately, I think the developers have done a fucking immensely good job, and it has that Soulsborne feel. You know, I think, you know, the voice acting's serviceable. The story's really good so far. Really enjoying kind of
the story's
their
fantastic,
take.
Mate. And it
brilliant.
So works with the Pinocchio, the whole Pinocchio story. Kind of mashing that into Bloodborne. You know, the whole puppet uprising and it's just very well done. I feel like they've really captured that aesthetic in the storytelling too, you know?
Yeah, no, I just really like how they've retrofitted the Pinocchio story against this kind of Victorian era Bloodborne tale. And it just feels really good. Overall, cracker game, really enjoying it. I haven't had an awful lot of time with it in the last week or so, because I've kind of been mainlining a bit of Cyberpunk, just because I haven't felt like getting my ass handed to me in Lies of P, but I'm a fair way along the way.
It's I haven't felt a challenge in a game for a while. I've just been playing very relaxed, kind of cruising through video games. But yeah, I streamed this on, when was that? On the weekend sometime, just gone. And I got stuck on a boss for probably about 25 minutes, kicking my ass. Probably died about 15 times to him, but I ended up beating him. But it just brought back that feeling of when you do die over and over again, figure it out slowly and beat it. That sense of,
Accomplishment.
which is great.
Yep.
I guess my only real gripe with it, Cap, and I don't know whether this gets better as you play through the game, but I feel like the bosses that I've fought so far and some of the enemies that I've fought heavily rely on you having consumables to beat them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the damage is too much, or there's some kind of mechanic that'll be too much for you. And both times that I've had to do this, I didn't have many of those consumables on me, and it relied on me to actually go back and buy some or farm some from somewhere. And I hope that that is not a recurring theme throughout the game, because quite honestly, I can't be fucked doing that. I'd rather be able to fight and beat the boss. So I don't know how it's going to go later, but that was my early indication so far. They kind of have like different status effects and bits and pieces that you want to be using like resistant things on to not get smashed by them. But I could just play better and not get hit. But yeah, that was my minor gripe.
I think you're going to probably run in. I mean, what area are you in at the moment? If you,
I just beat the big cop spider guy, and I'm pretty much just past that area.
Yeah.
So
I think the next boss is going to give you a real fucking hard time.
Is that right?
Yeah,
that fucking big cop. Yeah, dude, they're hard, man.
Yeah, he's a real
They've
bastard.
done a good job. Yeah, right.
Oh, big time. Yeah. So, yeah.
If you're watching the stream, Cap, you can see him up now. The scrapped watchman. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I think I sunk about 30 deaths in total into this guy to get to this point. Yeah.
Have you noticed you can actually read the dialogue that they say if you try really hard?
No, I did not know that, mate. I did not know that.
Because they look like they're saying these weird runes or something, but they're actually, it's like if you squint, you can kind of see it's actually
really
real
I was
text.
not paying attention.
Yeah,
no, it was
kind of cool. Kind of very cool. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying Lies of P, and I'm going to try and get back into it this week. Just trying to, between that and I'm still making my way through Baldur's Gate 3. I'm in the final act, and it's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's more so just like Act 1 and 2 were just so well put together, and then Act 3 is just kind of like quite open, and it's a very bit different change of pace for me. And I'm probably not as enjoying it as much as I did Act 1 and 2, because they had quite, I mean, you still got a goal in mind, but I feel like it's quite distributed. So, and I've also got other things I want to play as well. So I've kind of put BG3 on the back burner a little bit, but I'll get back in there.
So, Cap, I've got 70 hours in Baldur's Gate 3, and me and my co-op party have only just got out of Act 1.
Christ.
We've been really enjoying it, dude. So we went and did the Mountain Pass, pretty much the whole of it. And then we also went in and did the Underdark. So we did both ways, which was great.
I did too.
So,
I've done it as much as I possibly could in my first playthrough. So I'll plan to have a multiplayer run at some time, probably towards the end of the year with some mates. But
nice.
But it's good. Really, really good game. So there you go. Now, Grizz.
Yeah.
Shall we dive into a bit of freaking rapid fire news?
Let's do it, mate.
You buy DJ Francesco. It's in the game.
It's in the freaking game, baby. Pav said that DJ Francesco had perished, but I'll tell you right now, he is still supporting this podcast like you wouldn't believe.
Kat, you didn't talk about CS2, mate.
Oh, shit. Do you have a quick one about that?
Oh, just tell me what it's like, mate. I'm curious, and I haven't played it.
Well, yeah, it's just CS:GO. Feels a bit snappier, I think. It looks a lot better because they've touched up all of the interfaces and all the skins and stuff, and they've made a few map changes and stuff. But yeah, it just feels like CS:GO, and it kind of just all it has done is highlight how fucking old I am, because I cannot compete anywhere near the fucking level that all these Zoomers are playing.
I'm not even going to bother, mate. I am not even going to bother. I know it's just going to be a bad time. I might enjoy it for 1 second, and then that'll be it. But I want to watch you guys play it, for sure. It's
Yeah,
fun.
look, it was fun getting in there. I had a few beers and was just doing P90 rushes on fucking site A, and everyone's getting shitty about it. But I thought that was great fun. So
Nice.
yeah.
Winner.
So yeah, give it a crack if it's free. So I mean, fucking why not? Give it a crack, see what you think. But at home,
Yep.
but it's just more Counter Strike, really. So there you go. All right, so Grizz, first one off the rank. Nexus Mods has banned a pronoun removal mod from its listings. Someone created just a kind of shit mod where it would remove the whole pronoun thing in Starfield. So Nexus Mods said, fuck yeah, take that shit elsewhere, which totally get it.
Hey, fair enough, mate. There you go. Okay, Cap. Astarion's actor says Baldur's Gate 3 players haven't found a hidden 2-hour section. I'm one of the few people that knows about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is he making rumors, mate, or is this founded on information?
So I think what ended up happening was, and I don't know if you got to this point in the game, but did you find the thing with the mace in the temple? Did you see that?
Yes, we did. We did find the mace. Yep, when we left the temple. Yep, one of our guys is wearing it, and it's fucking broken, dude.
It is
Holy
broken.
shit.
It will revive you instantly if you die, and also does a big fucking sunlight beam that fucks shit up. It's actually bullshit.
It's so good, dude. And you get to that area. So we did that before we did the mountain pass, and you get to the area where you need light around you to walk through there. Well, it's fucking light, dude. And everything's weak to the sunlight shit. So stuff's just getting wrecked. It's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Now, what would happen is if you take the mace without having the key to take the mace out, it turns this big solar ray gun onto the place and fires a massive ray gun at it, killing everyone inside the temple if you don't get out. And so,
serious? I didn't know that.
And
Holy
then if you leave Asterion in there to die to the solar ray gun, because he's a vampire, and if you revive him afterwards, he has a big crack at you about leaving him in the fucking temple and the big solar ray gun killing him because sun versus vampire kind of thing.
No way, man. That is nuts.
Yeah. So pretty fucking cool. Really fucking cool. So I think that was that. It turned out to be that was the thing that he was talking about, which, I mean, it's not exactly a 2-hour section, but it's still very fucking rad. So yeah, there you go. Now, Grizz, speaking about Elder Scrolls 6, it's definitely not coming to PS5. Just FYI, and I think we kind of already guessed that because Microsoft's not in the habit of giving PlayStation owners any free handouts when it comes to its own titles.
Why? Oh, okay. Is that seems? Is that
Microsoft
weird?
owns Bethesda.
Yeah, right.
Starfield didn't come out on PlayStation. So they just do the same thing again with Elder Scrolls. So if you want to play the Elder Scrolls, you're going to need a PC or an Xbox. And you probably shouldn't expect that game to release until at least after 2026. And I'm guessing that that's the year that Bethesda's hoping that no one releases an RPG and they don't have to compare themselves against anyone and can get away with murder when it comes to producing shit games. So they've obviously done some forecasting. So there you go. Anyways,
there you go. Now, Cap, Callisto Protocol, mate. Dead Space co-created departs startup after newest game flops. So yeah, we had Callisto Protocol come out not long ago. Didn't do particularly well, and we're seeing one of the devs from Dead Space.
Hey, Grizz, what do you call the developers of Callisto Protocol? What do you call their office? Dead Space.
I
got him. Like no one there.
Got him.
They're all fucking being fired. That's pretty fucking rough, actually. Sorry, guys. All right. Now, Grizz, Baldur's Gate 3 has released a very sizable patch. It's quite large. I think they did get another kind of almost, reach the fucking character limit on the patch notes for Steam, but they have released Mac support, which is pretty cool for Mac owners. There's now a magic mirror where you can basically change your character's appearance. You couldn't
Mm.
before, kind of
The
like
mirror.
barbershop style, like, you know, you can
Yep.
change everything, face, hair, the whole lot. So if you want to do
It's
that,
cool.
you can.
Mhm.
There's a shitload of changes to combat. Also some
Yeah, a bunch of balancing bits and pieces and things, isn't there?
balancing. There's also some performance improvements to the city, which is Act 3, which is good. I imagine there's a lot of stuff on the screen in Act 3, so I can imagine some lower NPCs probably struggled a little bit there. Also just a bunch of sort of fixes to like scripting and flow within quests, and some gameplay issues and UI elements, etc. So a lot of fixes and changes. So yeah, good on freaking Larian, just pumping out the
Smashing it,
patches
mate.
like there's no
So
tomorrow.
good, dude. So good. They've done well.
Because I mean, they don't have to, right? Like they could just stop and
Yeah.
have created one of the best RPGs ever, but they're just going. They're going for
They're
it.
just
It's
doing
great.
it.
Good to
Going
see.
for it. Yeah, all over it. Cap, months after declaring Tomb Raider is unaffected by layoffs, Tomb Raider dev hit with a wave of layoffs. Embracer Group's bloodbath continues as Tomb Raider dev Crystal Dynamics reports layoffs.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
mate.
it's sad. We've seen other Embracer Group developers suffer from layoffs recently, and yeah, it turns out that Tomb Raider is also going to be suffering. Now, interestingly, this is also around the time that we've recently had a Tomb Raider Netflix series announced, anime based.
Ooh. Wow.
So yeah, just a little side note for you guys. But yeah, there you go. Now, Grizz, GTA 5 is 10 years old. That is crazy.
Dude, game still sucks.
Yeah,
Kidding.
game sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is getting quite old. People fucking love that game, man, don't they? Love it.
do love that game. I enjoyed doing the roleplay stuff for all of 5 minutes and then
That's right.
never touched it ever
you
again.
were Cap Dundee or something, weren't you? The copper.
Yeah, Cap Dundee, and I was a fucking menace. It was good fun.
That would have been cool. I reckon you could have made big on that, Kappa. That was good. That was a good watch.
I could have been bigger than fucking sliced bread, mate. But you know, sometimes you got to give in to your morals. So I left. Anyways,
Cap, Star Citizen's long-running development has inched forward yet again. This time to the Alpha 3.20 stage. I believe over $600 million later, Cap, in developing this game.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
Couple of bucks, mate.
Crazy. I think I mean, I don't know if you know an awful lot about Star Citizen, Chris, but I mean, they basically got kickstarted once upon a time, and it was like, you know, we're going to bring this fucking game out. It's going to be the best space game ever. They're still developing it fucking 20 years later. Not 20 years, but you get my meaning. And they spent $600 million on it, which is out of control, and there's no signs of stopping. And it's not really a game yet. It's just all these little kind of mini experiences that have kind of been stapled together. So I don't know. It kind of feels like they're just stealing your money. So I don't know.
Slowly taking your money.
There you go. Yep. Now, Grizz, Sea of Thieves is getting PvE service, so you can play the game solo this year.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool. I think
that is cool. I like that.
You know, kind of nice to be able to just enjoy the high seas with your friends and not kind of get fucking owned by high skill cap players. So, which is what happened to me last time I played.
So I reckon the older the game gets, the more that's just going to happen, eh? Like,
yeah, exactly. So I think this is a no-brainer. But yeah, interesting.
Now, Cap, interestingly enough, the article for this story is on Fandom, but Minecraft to move away from its wiki on Fandom. So they are, after several discussions, we're excited to announce that Minecraft wiki has moved from Fandom to Minecraft.wiki. Oh, which is this new site? Okay, there you go. All the information about the game can now be found in the new location. So, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. I mean, Fandom has been hosting wikis for forever and a day, and I'm sure that a lot of people that listen to this podcast have probably been exposed to a Fandom wiki site before. But they're always just bloated with fucking ads and just garbage. And so good on them for getting the fuck off there, because Fandom sucks. So yeah, well done.
Not good.
All right, now Grizz, someone recently, I think it was in an interview, or someone asked for a comment from Capcom saying that would you be interested if Microsoft offered to purchase you? To which Capcom's politely said, "No, we're not interested. FYI, so don't bother."
No,
And there
thank
you go.
you. Yeah,
Just let you know.
there you go. Capcom, too smart. Apparently, Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite and Unreal Engine, is laying off a whopping 16% of employees, which is around 900 people. I wonder what areas they're getting let go from, or whether it's just like a
Not
company-wide
entirely sure.
selling.
Yeah, it's probably across a lot of their different departments. But I mean, Epic's more than just development. They've got customer service, and obviously they've got like support as well. So there's different areas that they'd be working in. So yeah, even Sukai in chat is saying there's big hits to the Fall Guys developer. So
Oh,
bit of a
really?
yikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting slammed.
Everyone's getting slam jammed. So yeah, pretty rough. Hopefully people can find new places to go.
Yep.
All right, Grizz. Now, we
Huge.
spoke about this earlier, so I'm going to bundle the next two. CSGO is now publicly available, Grizz, and it has earned over $40 million from case openings in the first few hours, which is
That's
out of
fucked.
control.
I don't know how I feel about that. Cap, how do you feel about that?
I
I thought we
mean,
were trying to scale back the whole fucking loot boxes thing, and here's
yeah,
CSGO.
I thought
It's
us
making
as
money.
gamers were trying to put up a fight against microtransactions, but this is really suggesting otherwise. So
Yeah, and you know
again,
what, man?
you know.
Look, there's a bit of controversy, and I haven't spoken about it with you blokes yet, but both XQC and Dr. Disrespect pulled insane chance pulls, and there was discussions all over Reddit saying that they reckon that those pools were rigged. They were given a higher chance to find high quality items to try to promote their communities to go buy loot boxes. There's a bunch of like conspiracy theories.
I mean, it wouldn't
regarding
surprise me, and we'd
Yeah.
never fucking know, because God knows how much they paid them if that was the case. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping them from doing it, because I mean, they create the game, they can set the fucking the stats, but you'd hope not. You'd hope not. You'd hope that
They know how to
Yours
make a couple of
bit nicer
bucks
than
for
that.
fucking virtual cosmetics, Cap.
Oh yeah,
Mind blowing, mate.
yeah, unbelievable. So yeah,
Cap, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a sequel, third in the series, is already in development, which is cool. I
Yeah.
haven't played the last one yet. I should get around to doing that.
I never finished it, but it was good. It was nothing groundbreaking, just kind of. I mean, it's one of those games where it's not really worth doing an awful lot of exploration, because I mean, some of the extra bosses seem fun, but you'd like go and like open a chest in the middle of the desert and you unlock a new beard option, and it's just like, what the fuck? Just fucking random.
Sweet, a beard.
Yeah, I found a beard in the desert. So, I don't know, like just felt a bit off, but the game was good, and I think I'd enjoy another one. I'd probably need to do a recap, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyways,
Cap, do a
Grizz.
recap. Yep.
Cap will do a recap. But speaking of recaps, if you want to listen to this episode again, you have to go and do so via podcast. This is the end of the podcast, and you will need to listen to it as a podcast. Excuse me. So yeah, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. If you want to listen to us live next week, you can do so by going to twitch.tv/Oceanic Gaming Radio from 7 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time. Otherwise, you can listen to us on every single podcasting platform available. Just look up Oceanic Gaming Radio. Outside of that, join us on x.com/OGR show. And you can vote in our weekly polls. And then if you want to join our Discord, just go to ogr.show and follow the links there. All the links that I just mentioned are all sitting there as well. And you can come and chat to us in Discord. Other than that, I think that's about everything I've really got to say. Been a banger. Good to have you back, Grizz. We missed you. And
It's nice to be back, mate.
Yeah,
Love
we're
it.
going to miss you, Pav, next week and the week after, and potentially the week after that. But he'll be back. Anyway. All right. Now, love you guys all heaps, and take it easy.
Peace out.
I won't be slacking. I'm gonna be having big ones.
I have a question.
For
I'm kidding. Pav's
What's
busy.
Caging's question? What's your question, Caging? All right. Right.
Yeah, spit it out, will you? Why did you go to the hairdresser and get the Karen haircut? Well, I wanted to walk into your house and I don't know, do Karen things to you. Basically.
Tell him to get off his lawn.
Come on.
Get off your lawn.
Get off my lawn. Is it a Karen haircut? It's the usual one I get. All right, who are you rating?
You're gonna want to rate a friend because I'm gonna need to show you how I do all this editing.
Yeah, PG.
Cap, that fucking blows my mind about that ray gun blowing up if you take the mace.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
cool,
there's
isn't it?
so much in that game, man.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how
It
good
is
that
wild.
game is. It
Seriously
is
wild.
fucking wild.
Turn-based Dave?
Miss Dave, lock it in.
Yeah.
Oh, before you do, we need a title.
Ooh. What did we talk about?
Did you guys talk about the PlayStation?
Stepping down as head?
Yeah.
Yeah, but has PlayStation lost its head? Question mark.
We
So-
did talk about that. I missed that.
Boys, I was
it's fine.
what I was gonna fucking say now.
There you go, Pav. This is it.
Ugh.
Return of the Grizz. Yeah, that's good.
It's PlayStation lost its head.
Has PlayStation lost its head? Cool. Locked in. That's episode 73.
Damn, boy.
Damn boy.
All right.
Who's
That's
rating?
it. You wanna lock in turn-based Dave?
Yeah.
I don't have him on my list. If you wanna chuck it in there.
Have you got it, Grizz?
What did you say?
Hang on, I can probably do it. One of them.
Oh, raid? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm watching something. I'm very distracted. My good friends.
That didn't fucking work. /
So I
raid.
gifted a sub in our channel tonight, boys,
You did.
and it went to Kamikaze Cracker. It was
Mhm.
a random person in the channel. All right. I don't want him to think like I'm singling him out. Just
There we go.
wanted to fucking do that. All right. You know,
Nice.
could have been Caging Run
well.
for all he knows.
That
but
means
just-
that means Kazi didn't get the founder badge because you have to subscribe yourself to get the founder badge.
Oh, devastating.
Oh well. Next month.
Always be next month. Yep.
All
yes,
right.
indeedy.
Well, I'll see everybody in chat in about a month. If you're at PAX or IEM, say hey. Send me a message. We'll go get beers. We can have a good one together.
Go and have a beer with Pav for me.
Go and have a
Because
beer.
I
with,
want to be having beers with Pav in Melbourne.
Oh yeah, I won't
fucking
be able to
going.
have beers with you guys on Saturday.
I know. It's all good, mate.
Caps-
It's all good.
Cap,
you can
Pav is walking to PAX. It's true.
I'm
you can explain yourself to Ted, but it's all right.
You'll forget me.
Oh yes, I can have beers with you on Saturday though, Capo.
Okay, let's go.
Couple of
All right.
couple of mimosas, mate. Surely.
I'm
Oh,
Moses.
mate. Fuck yeah. I'm good.
All right.
Rate it.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Right. Peace out. All right, let's do it, Pavlich.
Cool. Do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah.
Do you want me to do
I'm
it
gonna
on
duck out, boys.
Yeah,
Good luck.
easy. Bye. Do you want to
Good
do it on
episode.
Discord? The screen share is a bit cleaner on Discord.
Good job.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll meet you in
Yeah.
the OGL.
Is there an OGR channel that we can join?
I'll just call you directly.
Yeah. Right. Call me.
I will hang up here.